Chapter 6, Section 14, Campaigning. Campaigning is a huge part of the election process. After the nominating convention, the presidential candidate hits the campaign trail for the general election. Candidates travel the country explaining their stances on the issues of the day and their plans to govern. A similar process occurs on the state level with congressional candidates. While they do not have to be nominated by a convention, congressional candidates campaign vigorously in the run-up to the November general election. Debates, rallies, and advertising are major components of general election campaigning. Candidates typically build massive campaign operations and employ professional campaign managers, strategists, and consultants. Modern campaigns also heavily rely on media and communications experts to craft their political brands, slogans, advertisements, and media messaging. Voter turnout in primaries is relatively low. Only the most motivated voters tend to participate, and these voters tend to be passionate about policies and positions that are important to their party. During the primaries, therefore, presidential and congressional candidates tend to focus on these issues, and they may take extreme positions to appeal to the people most likely to vote. As a result, Democratic Party primaries may become contests among different left-leaning politicians. Likewise, Republican primaries can be contests among various conservative ideologies. Once nominated for the general election, candidates often soften their position on issues, especially those that are controversial. Candidates occupy this middle ground in order to attract more mainstream party members, independents, and any voters who may not support highly partisan candidates. Congressional elections rarely get as much attention as presidential elections, but they are nonetheless high-stakes elections. One major factor influencing the outcome of congressional and presidential elections is incumbency advantage, which is the edge or advantage that current office holders, incumbents, possess as they run for re-election. Incumbents are typically much better funded and are better recognized by voters. In office, it's considered a competitive seat if it is currently held by an incumbent. Incumbents who run for re-election have a distinct advantage over their challengers. First, incumbents are usually well known by the voters since they have already been serving in office. Second, incumbents often have better campaign operations and fundraising mechanisms. If the incumbent decides not to run for re-election, the office is called an open seat.